It's advice that
would have worked like
that's really
20 years ago?
Yeah, that would have probably worked 20 years ago, and probably worked only in her home country and in her circumstances. She doesn't understand just the individualistic nature of a Western society, right? So how could she possibly give me advice on how I should live my life? That's because your eyes are small.
Thanks, dude.
Thank you. Right now we are at Hanok, which is like in Richmond, and it's like, how would you feel this atmosphere? It's like usually always empty. Like it's never like packed. So
Yeah,
that might
well,
be like a good thing.
We've only been here twice.
Take it over by one. Your tip, nothing special. It's like your generic, like Korean, like home style food.
What about the next one after protein?
Stir-fried beef.
We do the beef.
Whatever you want, bro.
Thank you.
Fact, what was it? 6 months ago I couldn't do this. So my vlogs, I want to be like, not just like, hey, I'm eating at this place, look at me. But it's like, I want to have like a central theme about something. This one is
So what's the theme for today?
Asian parents. And why,
parents, eh?
and why you should, as like a millennial, you should never listen to your parents. Would you say yes or no to that? Should you listen to your...
As a millennial?
Yeah, in terms of like life advice.
Life advice,
Yeah.
definitely not. Just because we grew up in totally different circumstances.
Thank you.
Or one of these.
Focus. Is it raining? So growing up, did you feel like you had to listen to your parents?
I did, but early on,
When was the pivotal moment where you're like...
Pivotal moment, eh?
Where it's like, this is not the... What I'm listening to them is not making me happy. Because I think that's a lot of struggle, like, even with me or other people, where it's like, if you grew up like in a household where your parents raised you and they did X, Y, Z, then it's like you don't want to disappoint them.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the common rhetoric through every Asian household.
Well, I'd have to say that I'm not completely the opposite, but I was definitely not the kind of guy that would, for as long as I could remember, like, I've always been the rebellious kid. I never did what my parents asked me to do, and I would always get my ass, like, whooped, right? Yeah. Because of that.
Same.
But,
same.
Honestly, I don't remember when the pivotal moment was, but my entire life, I've always been like, oh, I don't live for anybody but myself. And like, I'm not trying to come off as selfish, but like, I'm not gonna do anything criminal or anything that'll get me in trouble. I'm gonna go my own path, and if my parents aren't happy with it, so be it.
But is there like a part? Is there like a part in your heart where it's like, wait, like, so you don't want to get deep into your career, but like, let's say you have a career, and then it's something that you want, but then your parents supported you through?
No, or
your mom.
They initially no, because they were scared that I would get hurt, and that I would, I don't know, just not make it. But I said, this is what I want to do, and I'm gonna do this regardless, and I'm confident in myself, and I know I can do it. Whether or not you want to support me is up to you. But that's pretty common. Like you know how Asian parents are always skeptical of things, right? So it's like, no matter what you decide you want to do, unless you're becoming like a doctor or a fucking lawyer or some shit, you know, they're always gonna be skeptical. So that's
because I feel like, especially for me, it's like, if I don't get that approval, it's like I made them feel like disappointed.
Really?
And a part of me, like, not 100%, like a part of me which is like, I wonder what it'd be like if like they actually supported what I was doing.
Well, I guess you kind of stuck to your Asian roots. Me, not so much. I'm pretty much a banana, you know, yellow on the outside.
Because I'm pretty
white.
That's one of the reasons like I like stuck with school, because I was supposed to, like, my original plan after I graduated high school, was to just work for like 1 or 2 years and then travel.
Yeah.
But then instead I went 5 years in school that I hated, and then nothing really came out of that because I did what they wanted.
See, that's the thing with me. I didn't care what my parents thought. I just went ahead and did my own thing anyways. But then again, my parents they've never supported me in what I do, and my dad's like, I mean, no offense, but my dad's kind of like deadbeat. He's like a piece of shit. He's always treated me like shit. So I never looked up to them. You know what I mean? My dad's a really, he wasn't a hardworking person. And I wanted, like, I aspired to be anything but him.
I guess for me it's different because like both of my parents like raised me in like hard work and shit, and I never saw them growing up.
Yeah.
So for me it's like I didn't want to be like a failure. So I did for like the first X amount of years, like did things that made them happy. But then a lot of times where, you know, I feel like people can relate to this is where they want to do something that makes them happy, but it doesn't make their parents happy. So instead of doing what makes them happy, they do what their parents wants them, and you're not making yourself happy. You get it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Making it complicated than it should be.
Yeah. That's why I don't. My parents, I'm pretty sure they expect a lot of me, but I'm not gonna try and I'm not gonna sculpt myself and try to fit into their expectations. I have these standards for myself, and this is what I'm gonna do. Like, I don't care what anybody says. This is what I want to do, and this is what I'm gonna do regardless. This is how I want to live my life, and nobody can say shit about it, right?
Because like when it comes to Asian parents, it's like unless your parents are like billionaires, then you should take their advice because like they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like immigrant parents, it's like they only know what they know, and most of the time immigrant parents come from a place where it's like there's not a lot of education, and in their minds like their success is like going to, that's where you get the doctors, that's where you get like all those typical pharmacists, you should do this and that, because like in their head they're doing what they know is successful in their eyes. Pretty much at the end of the day you just gotta like know who you are and do what makes you happy, as long as you're not like inflicting pain on others or like
as long as you're not hurting anybody, man. That's all that matters.
As long as you're happy and you're finding a way to like make things work, then like do what you want to do instead of like validate yourself through like other people.
Yeah, you can be a little
it's hard to say that, and like actions speak louder, especially if you're always like around your parents. What you gotta do just makes you happy, because everyone's gonna try to like tell you how to live your life. Everyone's gonna tell you how to do this, you should do this or that, but like in the end it's all like you're the main character. Everyone's the main character of their own story. You gotta do what's best for you.
Yeah. What the fuck? Does YouTube not do anything about that? Well, I guess there are too many videos to review.
It doesn't care. I'm just like a random person. Or that I'm not only singling out you, but like because of YouTube, it's molded me to like be more confident and like hear that yes, there's people gonna give you tips on this or that, but at the end of the day, it's like I have full control, and that gives me like a sense of peace when it comes to like advice, even if it comes from like a good place. I feel like me growing up, it's like my whole life I was always like told what to do, and for me I hate that feeling of like people like pinpointing and like you should do this or that. So when it comes to like my videos or the way that I film or the way that I run my YouTube channel, I've always been like guarded in the terms of like I would much more take advice from someone who's like done the YouTube thing. Not just you, there's like everyone I talk to about YouTube is like,
right.
I'd rather be open to someone who's like, I have 1 million subscribers, this is how you should do it.
Right.
Versus someone who's like, oh, that's cool and all, but you should do like this type of content instead. How's that with chat time with Peter?
It was amazing. Hold on.
Bro, is that a ticket?
Oh, shit.